edition of Reality Wrap-Up, where we recap the highlights of this week's reality TV shows. In our segment today, we'll be looking at FASB's Revenue Recognition Project. This project will affect practically all practitioners and is designed to remove inconsistencies, provide a better framework, and believe it or not, actually simplify the standards. Like that will ever happen. Let's get right into our show with a clip from this week's episode of those gun-toting business tycoons on Buck Dynasty.
We have the auditor coming in today, and we have to make sure that we know the basic steps that are required for revenue recognition under the new standard.
The first step is to identify the contract. Let's see what you have here. So, where is your accounting department?
Well, it was right here. Jace, what happened to the accounting office?
So I got tired of being cooped up, so we moved the office out to the swamp.
I figure if God had meant for us to work inside, He'd have given us indoor plumbing.
How am I going to identify the separate obligations of those contracts if I don't even know where you are?
Just follow the sound of the gunshots. You'll find us.
I guess we better get going.
I don't know about this. You know you have to determine the price of the contract as well, and I'm not comfortable with all those guns.
Some of these city folk just don't understand guns. They think they're dangerous or something.
Remember, guns don't kill people. Twinkies do.
Personally, I think they should all be outlawed.
If guns were outlawed, then only gun stores would have guns.
Good gosh, Jace, what have you done here?
Well, we got the workstation set up. Over there's the copy center, and there's the network server.
We get incredible range on the Wi-Fi with it up there.
Okay, guys, we have got to settle down and allocate the contract price. Now, guys, I promise the auditor there'd be no shooting of anything while she was here.
Look, there!
Don't do it. Don't do it.
There's a gator.
Leave it be. Guys, we've got to look at these various obligations and then recognize them as they're satisfied.
Look, it's that there pig from the CPA commercials.
Who did that?
I think I got it!
I knew she'd come around.
For this which we are about to receive, we give thanks.
Feed the sign.
Well, I was glad that they decided not to duck the issue. They clearly recognize the 5 basic steps required by the pronouncement. Identify the contract. Identify separate obligations. Determine the price. Allocate the price. And recognize the obligations as they are satisfied. Now let's move on to our next show highlight. We are now going to look at how you separate the various obligations of the contract in this clip from Warehouse Wars.
Today's auction takes us to Fargo, North Dakota. Our bidders will try to obtain a storage unit with multiple obligations.
Now today's auction will be a little different because you will have to win the unit before we actually open it.
Then how are we going to separate distinct goods for performance?
The FASB makes the rules. No one says you have to bid.
The issue here is that to consider the items as separate, distinct goods that usually have to be sold regularly on their own as standalone products.
I'm not sure what might be in there, but even if the items aren't sold separately on a regular basis, I can still separate them if I can derive benefit from the item on its own.
Now remember, you will bundle any of the obligations as a single obligation if they're highly integrated or if the bundle is significantly modified for the contract. Okay, so let's get this started. What can I get for this unit? I'll take 50. 50. 50, anyone? I've got 50. Can I get 100? How can you pass up on such a great deal? 100. Can I get 150? How is it possible that anyone can understand what in the world I'm saying? 150. I've got 150. Can I get 200? 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. 200. Can I get 300? I can make a booger talk. 300. I've got 300. Can I get 400? Tiki tiki tumbo, no shall rembo, shall willy cheap bembo. 400. I've got 400. Can I get 450? We've compiled the company balance sheet as of December 31st, 2013, and the related income statement for the period that ended in accordance with the standards. I can't quite remember. 450. I've got 450. Can I get 500? 500, anyone? No, okay. 450. Going once. Going twice. Sold for $450 to the annoying old guy in the glasses. Let's cut the lock and get this opened up.
Well, I paid $450 for this, and now I have to determine the contract price to see how I did. I've got to consider the variable consideration, the time value of money, non-cash consideration, and any consideration paid to the customer.
For an investment of $450, Harry obtained the value of $475.
Not bad for a day's work. I took a trip to Fargo and made a cool $25.
Well, that gives a whole new perspective on an office cubicle. In any case, we have now covered the first 3 requirements for revenue recognition. Next, we have to allocate the transaction price. And this is done based on the standalone selling price. Now, this really should not be too difficult if you were able to separate the items in the first place. But let's move on to the last step and our last clip. Peer reviews can be intimidating, but I doubt you've ever had a peer reviewer like this one. Let's learn about when to recognize revenue under the new revenue recognition rules in the clip from the toughest peer reviewer out there, Dog the Peer Reviewer.
For the past few days, I've been dealing with folks who don't understand the new rules for revenue recognition.
Dog,
What you got?
we've got a case where the CPA has no idea when to recognize income.
You got a location?
Yeah, he's at his office.
I'm on it.
These guys don't seem to get it that you'll recognize revenue as soon as you satisfy each obligation. It's not really that difficult. Okay, I'm here. Oh man, we got a runner. I'm gonna catch this guy. He has to learn that 2 of the 3 conditions must be met for the obligation to be considered satisfied.
The customer could receive and consume the item.
Hey, we found him.
Hey, I just got a tip. He's trying to sneak back into his office.
They always do. I'm going in.
What did you hit me with anyway?
It's a peer review manual. Obviously, you've never seen one before. Now, why did you do something stupid like run?
Because I didn't know what to do.
Well, one of the factors is that someone else would not have to redo anything else done to date to finish the contract. You got it?
I think so.
All right, then. Come on.
Oh, jeez.
Come with me.
Where are you taking me?
I think you know. The last element is that you have a right to payment and expect to fulfill the contract.
So, Dog, where did you send the poor guy? Surely you showed him a little mercy.
Nope, sometimes they have to learn the hard way.
Dog, you didn't!
Yep, I sent him to a CPE seminar.
Well, I hope he learned his lesson. In any case, I bet he got a bounty of good information. As you might have guessed, these new requirements are chock full of new disclosures as well. But we can't get into that now because we're out of time. See you next week on Reality Wrap Up.